Wow. Okay. Hi everyone again.
Wow. Okay, hi everyone again. Wow.
Okay. So sorry for that echo. Okay. Now I hope everything is sorted. Just let me know in the chat real quick. Hi. 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 Uh, okay. I was mute. So I guess I was just talking to myself there. So hi. A very good evening to everyone present here. We are back on day two. Great. Thank you, Valencia, for that confirmation. So, back on day two of building an app without using any line of code using AppSheet, a product by Google. And yesterday we covered a lot of basic things and understanding the core concept. So how this session is going to be is we are going to quickly take a recap of what we did yesterday. So I'll take you to a walkthrough for the people who are joining today for the very first time or did not get time to complete or miss the session for any of the reasons. So we'll do a quick recap in 10 minutes and then we'll start building on top of it, right? So just give me another minute. I'm actually setting up your chat in my another display so I can also see you while I'm coding, while I'm creating the app here. And I'll switch to, yes, I have your windows available here. That's great. Okay, so let's start. Okay, where's my water bottle? Yeah, so first of all, if you guys are new to the channel, news, okay, so as you're new to the program, just go in the description here and you'll find all the links. First of all, the documentation, as we always follow, right? Everything is mentioned in the documentation, the notes, the database that we created. I'll take you to a walkthrough. The whole project is there with all the links that are necessary. So this is where you will land. Okay, so this is again for the people who did miss this yesterday. There are links to enroll yourself. You can go and check that out. There are links to the previous lecture is available right here. Today's would be available right, and tomorrow, if we do, will be available right here. The agenda is to complete the app today and put it out so that through I'll just tell you how to start inviting people, because we are creating kind of a secure app. Well, only because we need to put authorizations, and I'll tell you how to create you a public app, how you which you can which basically anybody can access without having the need to signing in or something, right? So this is the notes. Notes basically is a layout of what we will cover. So basically we created like this. I guess we completed the first part today, as it's basically the functions of lookup, select, and everything, and a few themes. I'll tell you how the themes and branding we covered yesterday again. Then automation is something that will create today notifications, emails, SMS, not because we do not have any service, but again there's an option of you can connect Twilio, send grid, I guess, and something is there. Any service that you have for SMS, right? And any webhook that is there. Basically, you can, if you know to connect a webhook, you can basically use any API for that matter. And we'll also learn about the expression, so that is there. And again, the last part is very easy, so that is why I am planning to close it in 2 days. It is basically about sharing the app, managing teams. We will cover setting up roles and permissions, right? And this is basically about some features in the app sheet. I'll tell you a few of those, right? uh, yeah, so getting back onto the app building, that was here. So before that, right, how many of you guys actually tried creating the app? How many of you guys tried creating the app? Let me know quickly in the chat how many of you guys actually tried it. How many of you guys were able to get that image loading on your app? How many of you guys were able to get that image loading on the app? And you were able to do that without an error? Because there was one thing I did not mention yesterday, that setting which needs to be turned off. Were you guys able to get the thumbnails for the events? Right? So I'll, once we start with the app building again, I'll tell you that error that comes up and how to resolve that. So before that, I'll tell you what we did yesterday. So we understood basically, so what we're trying to do is something like Book My Show we are trying to create. And Yeah, so Tanika Selvan got that error, right? So yes, so that is the error that you will get, and I'll tell you. I was expecting you guys to Google about it, but yeah, I'll tell you how to escape that error. So basically, the project we're trying to create, this is just a recap, is something like a book my show where you guys can see the events, organizers can list the event, users can register for the event, get on a wait list, and the organizers or the volunteers who are assigned can basically get you the pass. And once you go to the event, you show your PDF, which has a QR code, and once you scan that, you get access like a check-in system, right? So this is what we are trying to build. So we understood first of all that every app or every website has three components, as you guys only said, right? Front end, back end, and a database. In our case, the front end would be AppSheet, back end would be AppSheet, and database in our case would be a Google Sheet. And that is also something which is referred to as an MVC. And if I just move this above, it will sound similar. MVC, that is model view controller architecture, right? So day one, as I mentioned, is going to be the setting up the basic things in AppSheet, understanding the core functionalities, building the basic UI, maintaining a proper database structure in, sorry, database, not a database structure, that would be the wrong word, but maintaining a proper folder structure for drive, that is drive db is basically Google Drive. And day two, today I am going to show you context view. So context basically means the view that is there. I'll tell you what all contexts are available in AppSheet. Authorizations, like if you have some admin privileges, you see a few views, you can only edit few things if you are admins, those kind of things. And we will put setup automations that anytime a new registration is there, the person who is registering gets an email, you are on wait list. Setting up default values, like anytime a user registers, by default he gets on a wait list, and notifying the user once he gets approved, or once, and notifying the organizer when the user, a new user signs up for his event, right? And we created all of this using the database as we are selected as the Google Sheets. The spreadsheet name is equal to your database name, right? So that is by default, and each sheet can is referred to as one table. Again, you can have multiple spreadsheets and put it into one app, so you can basically add more databases, but for our convenience we have kept it inside one database. This is the link to AppSheet. It will take you to a page where you can go and sign up for a free account. So there are pricing models, but it basically lets you do a few things for free. You can also access the premium features for free for a bit, but it will give you a notification on email that you need to upgrade. So once you're done learning, please take your app down from deployment if you don't want to get that message repeatedly. For the learning part, it's fine. It does allow for a few days for you to use. And the drive link, basically where I am uploading everything related to what I am building. So this is the show spot, is what the name was suggested by one of the students. If you have a better name today, we will go ahead with that as well. And the folder structure, as I mentioned, images, events, cover. Going forward, we have one field called as trailer videos. So we will create one folder here, trailer videos, where we'll have all the trailer videos automatically coming up. So yeah, that's about it for the folder structure. And then again, a very important thing, your folder structure considers, like wherever you have the sheet, that part as the root. So apart from this, is the root folder, the main folder. So your sheet, the master sheet has to be here, and then everything can go from ahead of that, right? And post that, we started off with creating databases. So our database was one of the sheet, and then we had these many tables inside that. So we had events, organizers, registrations, and users. So events had all of these things. So there are a few things that we calculated automatically by having like venue as a concatenation for city, state, and country, where we use the Excel formula called as concatenate. Vacant seats, we by mistakenly created a field, but again, we'll remove that. And then we'll basically create a virtual column, like you have a table, virtual table, right, in databases, where it does not exactly exist in reality, but while you're doing some calculations, you need that like a temporary thing where you can create that and show in the app, so that it does not exist in a database, but it just calculates on the go, right? And then we also learned about the concepts like foreign key and primary key. So every table has one primary key which has to be unique and which cannot be null. And then similarly, every table has one primary key, which is again reference to into different tables as foreign key, right? So here we have organizers primary key, which is reference to here above as organizers dot organizer id. So every event will have a organizer id, basically who is organizing that event. And similarly for registrations, You have user ID, events ID, registration ID. So all of these will be have basically like a primary key for registrations table, and then events.event ID. So this primary key is referred to as a foreign key in the registrations part, right? So I hope this much is clear. And again, this is the users table. So basically we'll see how we can proceed from here. Abhilash, you can go to this document. Like this is a document, right? There's the link in the description. If you see all in, just open the description, you will find a link called as one link. No, sorry, one link, all in one documentation. Just go there. It is also pinned in the chat section if I can see it right there. So all you have to do is just go there and then basically go to this section where it's mentioned that all the links are there. So once you go here and you can basically click on day one, and it will start playing, but also of course go into this space and open it in a proper window, right? So that's about it. I hope we did a quick recap, and now basically we can start with building the stuff that we actually wanted to build. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start off. Where is our app? So this is what we basically did yesterday. Just let me go into the Excel. Just let's do a quick refresh. Yeah, this is how the app looks to us, right? So first of all, this is what is there right now. But again, one thing that we missed out, right? If I am an organizer, right? If I am an organizer, my email ID should come automatically here. So let's go and start filling the organizer ID. Now what? Now since I am the only person who is creating the app as an admin, I'll be taking multiple roles in this app creation process, right? So for example, now what I'll be doing is I'll be creating one dummy account here for now, right? So let's go ahead with some of the thing. I'll just write my email ID here, and then I'm basically going to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 some random mobile number, and let's see if this is now available in our app. Again, let's go into the organizer, and this is how it looks right now. So we have basically kept it inside the menu bar. So as I mentioned, right, we have multiple views. So when these are the multiple views available: calendar, deck, table, and this is the position. So we have kept organizer, if you can see, right, into the menu that is here, right, which comes right up here. Yeah, so everyone who has missed it can basically go and check it later again. Okay. Right, so first of all, what we need to do is go and first of all change the icon, and for this I am going to choose admin. Let's have a star here as of now, or let's do this as an admin. So organizers, right? So this is what we have done right now, and let's go and quickly review the database. As I mentioned, we kept it for today. So as of now, organizer had ID is going to be unique ID, so nothing changes there, and all of the things we can keep same as of now. I guess that's about it. Just one thing that we need to check is profile pic. As we said, we need it as an image, right? So let's see if I have an access to edit this, right? So now one thing that we need to do is I need to upload an image. I need to upload an avatar, right? So let me just quickly go and download an avatar. Let's try to download this and see how this works. Okay, so now one thing that what we saw yesterday, right? We need to have a proper folder structure. So similarly for images that we had events, and here what you're going to do is we're going to create a folder, right? That basically says that inside images, this is going to for profile photos or profile photos for organizers, right? So we will have that structure created. And what I'm going to do here is basically go into this app, go into the profile pic part, and here image folder path, right? Here we need to give images. And basically after this, I want to type how to give attendance. There is no need of attendance right now. I'll tell you right now what to do. If you have seen the initial setup video, we told that there's one link down there, just go and mark your attendance there. Currently, do not worry about that. You can just focus on the session. So images, and inside images, we need a organizers folder, and inside this we need a profile folder, right? So this is the setup that we want to do. Now what I see, I did not create the folder. Okay, I did not create the folder. I'm just checking if it automatically does create that. So now I'm going to just save it for now. And basically I'm going to go into the organizers and have this. So let me do one thing. Let me just delete this. And since I can create it from here, again, if you see, right, this is something that I should not be able to edit. I should not be able to edit. Now this is access again. Organizer ID should be with the super admin. So let's just go and make this editable, update behavior, editable. If the thing that we used yesterday, right, we used something called as what did we use? We used something called as is blank. So if the is blank field is editable, if the organizer field is blank, then only it will let you edit that particular thing. And if it's not blank, basically if there's already an ID, it will not let you edit that. And if we do this, this becomes a non-editable field. Now I can basically start filling my details here. I can do Prasad at LetsUpgrade.in, and basically I can put 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 right here. And now in profile pic, what I want to do here is basically go into the download section and take this photo here. And I don't know why it's not giving an option to save. Basically, okay, what did I miss? See, basically you can get into the form also right here. There is no autosave for any chance. Okay, now it came. I don't know what happened there. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. There's some issue with the app. I did not save or something, but yeah, you have the save button. Let's see if, okay, there is no entry till now. So now once I go and save this image, let's wait for it to get into the database. Something happened. Let's get into the organizer. And now you see, right, the photo and everything is right here. And this is basically how it will look. Now, if you see, right, it has automatically updated the entry here. Now, one thing that you need to see is it has created this structure right here, right, the folder structure. But we need to check whether that folder structure is created. And if you see, right, even if I did not create the folder, it automatically went and created that folder for us. That is what it does. So it automatically went and created that folder structure and put that photo there. So now our images section is properly organized. And this is, if you want it to change the way how it looks like, you can go into the view is basically how things look like. And by default it's deck. It looks good like this, but you can of course change the things. First of all, the primary header, which is there, right, which is the name that is auto assigned. The secondary header can be an email, and the third header can be the mobile if you want, right? Sorry, not the summary column. Summary column can be organizer ID for that matter, right? And you can of course show the action bar, and you can customize the actions that you want to add. right? You want to call the phone, you can add a call the phone, and it will basically add the thing right here, right? So you can directly call the organizers, but that is not something that we usually do, and so that's for that reason I'm going to remove it from now. And as an admin, right, so one more thing that is there, right? The option to basically quickly edit. So once you open this form, right, so this is something, again, focus on this part, one thing. So every time when you open something, right, there would be an option to edit, but there might be cases where as an admin you don't want to every time go into the edit option and now open up the whole form, scroll through and find the data and edit it, right? So there is a thing called as quick edit. Basically it lets you edit it from the view outside, where you don't have to go inside and basically click the edit button. And so like in this part, right, suppose I would like to go update the mobile number, right? So I'll just go to the view. So you can also access the view and tables directly, which are referenced or which is related to this particular view, right from the below as well. If instead of going it from here, so this is something I use majorly. And once you go down, right, uh, sorry, once you see these options, you will see how it should look like. So again, you can basically go and change the way it looks like. So if you choose the card layout, this is how it becomes. So each organizer would appear like this. This is how it would become. And then you can basically change of what happens after what. Like if you click on the first action, instead of delete, it goes into a edit mode, and or else it basically composes as email. And you can remove this options extra which are there, or you can just write. Currently I'm not setting it like that, I'm going to keep it like this for the demo. And if you see down, right, again you have header columns which basically highlights that if you have organizer ID on top, you can do that like this, right? Now this is something that you will not change. So I'm keeping it like this just to show you. Again, you can make it the way you want. And if you go down here, right, there is going to be quick edit columns, right? There is going to be quick edit columns where you can go and add the columns that you need to edit. In our case, as I mentioned, that is going to be the mobile number. That is something that we as an admin would edit. That is, again, listen to me clearly, that is something we as an admin would like to edit. But again, this is not something that we usually do. So again, uh, we do not have, or as an admin we can do, but again I'm just showing you. If you, as soon as you add that into the thing, it happens. Yes, Nagasai, we can give an option for user to enable to create their own avatar, but that is something where you'll have to keep your app open. So maybe in the advanced sessions that I'll again schedule maybe in the next month or so, or we usually do that in the student ambassador program where we dive deeper into this advanced concepts of no code, where I'll teach you how to create a sign up form, basically create like a sign up form and let anyone use your app. So that is something where we use app script also, in addition to Google App Sheet, right? So we send this data to Google Sheets, run an app script on that, send you an invitation mail to use this app, and all of that stuff. So yeah, said that, this is done for now, and this is how the things would look like. Now let's go back to this events page. Now one thing, if you observed, right, as an organizer, what I want to do is, this is how my things currently look like, right? So what I'm going to basically do is, with this, okay, noise. So again, if you how to add organizers view to the navigation without system generation. Okay, see, you can add a view anywhere from here, right? You can just go to your add a new view. I was anyways going to come to that, right? So again, if you want me to show you for the organizers, we can basically do organizers and select the organizer table, and yeah, that's it. And that's how it becomes, and the things that we added, right? So that's how it works, right? So I'm just going to delete this. So you can basically go and add it here and then move it wherever you want. I hope your doubt is now clear, right? Now the first thing that we want to do is basically, in the events, right? In the events, what we want to do is, first of all, okay, let's have one thing that, okay, now that we've sorted you organizers, let's also create user, right? We have this thing as well, so we need to do this for users as well. So let's go and add the view for users, right? So as I mentioned, we will have something called as users also, right? create a new view, users, and then we do this users, and basically display and we move it in a deck again. And yes, currently we don't have any, so I'll just save this. I'll create one by default so we know how it looks like. But again, we are going to move into some customizations based on the roles, right? So this is again something that we need to fix. So now I guess by now you know what we do. Again, go into the tables, just go into the user ID, go into the update behavior. Sorry, go into the update behavior and editable if we put something called as is blank. You can just scroll down here. Editable only if the is blank for this ID. Again, if you're not well versed with what the column name is, you can use the data explorer part right here and just save this. And again, this becomes hidden, so nobody can touch this. And we will basically create Prasad. Let's upgrade that .in. Oh, wow. See, one thing that again we need to fix is this profile part. So we'll go to image, right? I hope you are understanding. Let me know in the chat if you guys are able to relate of whatever I'm doing. Quickly, if you guys are able to relate of what I'm doing, it should not be like I'm just making it. This is going to be image, users, and then for us it is going to be profile. So again, inside the image there is going to be a users folder, and then it is going to be a profile. Again, you can structure it the way you want. I like to keep it this way, right? Okay, great. And after this, basically we will have something called as this is date, city, country, right? So name is okay. We need to save this first. So let's create a user Prasad. Okay, instead of Prasad, what I will do is let's have something else so we know that how things are working. John Doe, and then I'm going to put one of our sales email IDs. So because of which I have the access to, let me check. Okay, I might have to open my email. It's a wrong thing to do in this. So I will use my sales email ID once here. And just to show you of how the emails and everything will also come up. And again, profile picture is something I am just going to for now put this. So Lisa is again one of our softwares. You can check that. So any random thing. This is going to be Vashi, Maharashtra, India, and hit save. Now this should basically go again in the users table. Right, so now we have this. We'll just go and refresh this once, just to say if our table is created, if our folders are created, and yes, we have the users table right here automatically showing up, right? So we have the users again, right? And this is what the events look like. I don't know why the app after refresh is going to some other part of the application. So let me just fix this to events. And for yeah, since here we are here, right, for all the people who are having that issue of image, right, so what you need to do is go to options, and there would be one option called a secure access image or all of this. So just turn them off if you can. I don't know if you can. This is how it should look like. If you have that option, you can do this. There are other workarounds of how to fix that, but this is basically the simplest way to do that. Just make sure your features match this. Sorry, the turned features are same. to disable the things that I have disabled, and your apps should start reflecting the thumbnails basically based on the folder structure that we are following, because this requires external access, right? Since it's interacting with drive, so it requires the external access, or else you can just go and upload it and it will automatically start showing right up here, right? So it will have its own folders, but it will start working as well, so you can do that also, right? About so now once we have done this, now let's fix how this events things look like, right? Let's fix this event things how it looks like. This is one thing that you need to change again. Now this is again, now currently I am in the organizers mode. I am currently in the organizers mode. Now see, one thing that we can do is I can switch. If I just put the email ID of the user, I can switch it of how it looks to a user, right? Now one thing that I want to do is, now the problem with my app is everyone is able to see everything, right? If I am an ad, see, I am an user, right? But I am also able to create an event. I can add an event, I can add a user for that matter. I can add a particular registration, which should not be allowed like this. You cannot register to an event like this, basically, right? This is the wrong way to do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide a few things. We are going to hide a few things. Now let's see how to do that, right? So first of all, we'll need to create clones of your database particularly for that particular user. So sometimes you will have read access, sometimes you will have edit access, right? So currently, since in this app that I'm using, if I am a user, right? If I am a user, I should not be able to see the organizers things. I cannot see this. If basically I'm not an admin, I should not be able to see this, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to have one more sheet here called as admin, and that is going to be ID, admin ID. This the same name convention that I was using? Yes, admin ID, name, email. We don't need the mobile number as of now, so that should be fine. Now again, in the advanced session, I'll also tell you how to you do that as a role access manager. So basically, if you just have a role here, so you can basically give supervisor, admin, and things start working for you. But currently, for our understanding for this particular session or bootcamp, we're just going to work with admin things, right? So again, I can just I'm not going to create this again. I hope now you understand how this works. So I'm going to have myself as an admin here again. And role, we do not again require role, because that is something I said will not look in this particular thing. And now since we have a new table, what we need to do is basically go and add that table here. So we'll go and add this thing here. What was the show spot? I guess what was the name? Yeah, if you see, right, it is automatically detected that all the tables are already added. This is a new one, so I'm just going to add the new table. There is some issue with that table. Yeah, it says that it does contain sensitive information, so that is something that is okay. We are not concerned about it right now. I just needed that to be visible. uh we will move to, yeah, let this be there, and we'll go to the views and add a view for admin. We will create a new view for, this is where we'll start restricting people. We'll have an admin again. This can be simple. I'm not keeping it a lot of things here, and I'll remove action bar. Okay, this is fine. We don't need to, okay, this can stay like this, not an issue. I'll just remove this edit part from here, so I can just go here and edit. or basically as we saw, right, we can basically open it here and we can put all of those into quick edit things. So let's do that. So since it's just 3 columns, right, we don't have to basically go and edit it automatically. See, this is one thing, that admin ID is something you cannot edit because since it's unique, right? But one thing that we do is, now there is a problem that basically this admin ID is coming in the middle. We want to change the order. So in the detail, so I'll tell you the views. Okay, I'll tell you the view sub views that we have. This is the main thing, right? This is the view, that is the table that we have, deck that we have selected. I guess that is it. What have we selected? Deck. We have selected deck. Once you inside go this is the detail. So that is going to be the detail view of that. So here basically you can go and also set the order for your things, right? So if you just go on the detail part, if you see here, there is going to be a column order. So by default it's automatic, so you can basically set it to be manual. You can just move it up here and this is how it will look like. I hope again this is clear with you guys. And now what you can do is, since we have basically set this here, what I can do is I can just go to the admin detail, the previous view which was out there here, and we can move this out. Press action button. So I'll tell you how to remove this as well in a while. Yeah, and that's about it. So now we have an organizer, an admin, sorry. First of all, we need to go and change the image. So setting is something that we need. So this is something that I'm choosing. Again, for the good UI, you can choose all solids, like I'm choosing, right? You can choose all solid colors. So if you so your app looks like, but app looks a bit better, right? uh Tanika Sullivan, we are not setting it to get upgraded automatically, but it is basically setting the paths by default. So anytime a users upload, because users database, you whatever user upload is going to store, like since you're the admin, you will have a folder where your app stores the data, right? Like you usually have. So whenever you update your profile on Instagram, it goes into Instagram database in some folder which is related to you. Similarly, you can set this to work like that. So it's like properly segregated, and it's not inside one folder all the images are there, right? So after doing this, now what thing that we are going to do is basically go into this admin part, right? And once you go into this admin part, we are going to have and again, this admin should not be visible to everyone, right? We don't want it to we don't want this to be visible to all the people who are basically here, right? So we just want this to be visible to the admin. So now currently we have decided that admins will all be in this admin column, admin table, right? So what we are going to do is, we are going to see, now there are two levels of security that you can, restrictions that you can put basically, right? One is on the database level, right? One is on the database level, like if you just scroll besides here, you can have this edit show, right? Show basically means whether it should be visible or not, and you can basically set this to be formula driven. Like we go here, right? You can just edit this and uh, show, right? If you just have this and there's an expression and this becomes a show if, so that is an expression driven visibility that you can fix. And there's another level of visibility that you can basically put in this app, that is on the view, right? Whether this view, the complete view, like if I want to hide a few of these fields, I can do that on the database level. But if I want to completely hide everything, that is the whole view, I can just come down in this view. That admin is something I would just want to show admins. So what I will do instead is, so just keep an habit of saving your app whenever you make changes. You can so that there is no issues. So what you can do is, you can come to show if. Now this is the thing where, see, if you see, right, all the tables are right here. So there is one formula that we are going to learn, that is called as in. So in takes two parameters. In takes two parameters. That is basically what you want to search and where you want to search, right? So, and it basically returns a true false, right? If you see this is the formula. All right, and it has given you an sample as well that is relating to your database. That's how intelligent AppSheet works. So we're going to use this formula. So let me just insert it. If you don't want to type, you can do this. Now again, we do not want to search the venue. What you want to search is an email. What you want to search is an email. So first thing, again, if you have a string, we cannot do this. I cannot put it like this. I cannot just put my email ID. This is going to be wrong. Tell me why. Why can't I put my email ID here? I'm looking into your chats. Why can't I put my email ID just like I can't hard code it to search? Come on, guys. I'm expecting to see a few answers. Why can't I put this email ID like this? I have been using it everywhere, but why can't I put it like this? That is only your email ID. Sorry, there are other emails IDs. Correct. That is what it is going to happen. If I put this, so every time this is going to only check for me, right? This is only to check for me. But so there is one formula, right? There is one formula that gets your value. So what we need is the value of the user email. And since, as I very initially said that we are going to authenticate, so I am going to invite, since it's a closed app, I'm going to invite every organizer or every admin, or basically every user for that matter. For now, since we are not getting this, we are not making this app public, or like anybody can come and spam the things. We are not doing that right now. So if you go in others, right, there should be a formula called as user email, right? User email, and user email basically gets you a email, which is basically the email of with which you have accessed this app. So everything, like if you are using that app, you will do a Google login, right? So that email will automatically come in that field, right? So we are going to use that. So the formula, right, was in, and it takes two parameters. First is the user email. So we are going to, I'm going to ask you this again and again. So one is the text to search, that is going to be the user email. If the user email is basically in the list to search. Now again, what is the list? What is the list for us? The list for us is basically the email column of the admin table, right? The email column of the admin table. So this is where I want to search the email, right? So for this, what I can basically do is I can just basically write the table name and dot works in databases, sorry. And if I do this, right, I can basically get the email right here. Another way to do is, the easiest way to do is basically go to Data Explorer, open the admin thing, and just put email here. And that is how it will see it. It basically gives you a description also. User email is one of the values in the list admin email. So that is only the time where it will show it. And now if you saw, right, what happened here, it is gone. The admin thing is now gone, right? It was right here, but now it's gone. Why? Because we removed it. If I now put my email, which is prasad@letsupgrade.in, and then it will be again visible. So is this clear? We have set one level of security that nobody can access that email unless we tell it, like once we program it to be like that. I hope this much is clear with you guys. Yes. Okay, so now once, say we have fixed admin, right? We have fixed admin. Similarly, we want to fix the organizers. So let's go to organizers. Not everybody should be able to see the organizers, which is available right now here, right? So if I'm in the sales email ID, I should not be able to see this. So what I basically can do is, we are basically going to again go to the display, write a formula right here. So it is basically in user email, and this time it is going to be organizers and the email ID, right? Pretty much easy. I hope this is very, very easy. And I can basically hit save, and the organizer's email ID is also, organizer's view is also gone from here. So now I am configuring the app. I am configuring the app like a user. Can you please make an example app live? I cannot do it right now, but again, if you come into the ambassador program where like I have a huge amount of time with me to do that there, because you can join there and sometime we can make that app. In the YouTube sessions, kind of not possible with the time that I have in my hand. So now again, see, now one problem is, as an user, this again should be only visible to admin. As an user, this should only be visible to admin, right? So what is the thing that we will do? We will create a slice, because this is a user, right? Again, sales A is a user, sales A is a user, so we are going to slice. Now what is a slice? What is a slice? Slice basically means a part of the data that you want to have with you, which does not, which does not. So if I do something in that, I basically can restrict whether I want to update, add, delete, or what columns I want to get. I can basically do a query, like suppose I want to just get my user, right? So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more user right now, like this only. So user ID, I can do Prasad Sawant, and as of now, profile pic is again going to be this. Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra, date of birth, I'll just put 2001 2001, and I can just put save, right? So if you see, right, there is one more problem that has come now. There is one more problem that has come now. Can you tell me what is the problem here? Everyone in the chat, what is the problem that we have incurred here? Quickly, guys. What is the problem that you are facing right now here? Come on, everyone. Only admin should see the user details visible. Correct. Now see one problem. Okay, I guess one of my displays got disconnected. See, one problem that with the app that is currently we are facing is, as an user, right? I should not be able to see others' email ID. Second thing is basically I should be able. I should not have this edit access to all the profiles. And third is I should be only able to see my profile. There is no requirement of this users tab for a user, right? So let's fix this. Let's create a slice. Now slice basically means that it is going to be a part of a database, which basically means that what out of that do you require, right? Okay, my display, okay, sorry, my display is back. Just give me a minute, guys, I'll just be back here. Yes, only admin should be able to see users. Correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically lock this. So we are going to create a slice as you need, as you know, right? It can be a part of your database, part of a table. So we are going to create a slice, create a new slice, and the thing is going to be my profile. The thing is going to be my profile, right? Now it is going to be on the users table, right? But again, what is the condition? Like if you see, right, the condition is that we need to compare two values, right? Because when we are giving a condition, we need a boolean in return. It is going to be either true, false, yes or no, right? Let's go into database and check what is that I need to query from users. If I have to show, if I have to show just my email, my profile to myself, I need to ensure that the user id, the user email, that the function that calls for the email for the person who has logged in is equal to the column value, which is here, right? The row value, right? So user email has to be equal to the email value that is mentioned in that particular row. So the filter that is here, right, runs on all the rows. If you see, right, if you just row filter condition, so this basically will filter every row and check that condition, right? So here, what basically what we can do is create a custom expression and basically said that boss user email, or basically you can just tell what to compare first. You can just compare the email from this to the user email. And once you do this, right, it will just tell value of column email is equal to the user email. And so once you do this and just now if you see that there is no change, I'll tell you why. Again, you can decide what columns do you want from that. So of course, in if I'm basically seeing my profile, I want all the details that I have filled, right? So for that, I'm not going to deselect anything. Slice actions, you can edit. You cannot delete a user by yourself. You can put a request to the admin. That is what we usually do, right? And you would not want to send yourself an email or anything. So that is where I'm just giving an edit option. And there is no add or delete available for the user. See, I can set the permissions right here. There's only update mode, right? And I can basically go and save this. So once I do this, right, once I do this, now it is not visible anywhere. Why? Because it is just a slice. We don't have a view. So for everything we need a view, right? But we do not require this. Currently we'll keep this like this. But what we'll create is a my profile section, right? We'll create a my profile section. We'll go to a new view, create a new view, call it as my profile or just the profile. I think this should be correct. The profile or account info for whatever that matter that you would want to keep it. And if you see, right, we have a slice. If I do this, I can just see my email, my things here, right? I can make it like a card. I can make it like a deck. I can make it like a detail like this, or I can basically keep it like card. So now since we have chosen the card, I'll tell you how to. Card looks bad anyways in this case. This is something that looks better. So as we understood, right, we can basically give a few things to quickly edit. If you want to basically go and up, usually what people want to do is go and quickly edit the profile picture, right? Since a lot of things you will not go and edit by yourself, so you can use this. But quick edit columns, I'll give image as the quick edit column, profile picture, so you can basically go and upload this, update that very quickly. And then we will basically set the column order. So now what I'm going to do is basically take the profile pic on top, right? This is what I'm going to do it, and this is how it will look like now. And I can basically make the header column. Let's see what happens if I make the header column as the profile photo. It basically won't let me select that as an image, but we don't need this anyway. So this is how it is going to look like. And if you don't need a heading, this is how it will look like. If you do it side by side, this is how it will look like, right? So there are multiple modes that are available, right? You can do it like this. You can put this, you can check all the available things. I'm going to keep it currently as automatic, name, email, dob, all of that. Slideshow mode is off, or else you get a button right to basically slide through each of those. And I think that's about it. Again, the profile thing is in the menu. We need it in the first. Currently, as we are working on that, and we will just go and change the icon. So since we are choosing the solid thing, I am just going to use this. This is basically it, right? And that is basically the thing. I just go and hit save, and this is how it will look. This is how it will look. And of course, go and change the way it looks for you. If I go in the profile part, I can change it to a card and make it look better. I guess we can do this as none. Mhm. So basically, you can change all of that, but as we already created, I'm just showing you. Oh God, I have to do it again. Yeah, so this is how I'm going to keep it. Just go in detail and select the card layout. Looks better, kind of. And I'm not going to change a lot of things. Just one thing that I wanted to put is put this image into the quick edit part so people can directly go and change it. I'll just hit save, and it should basically let the user edit it as they want, right? Just card layout. Mhm. Play Store, I'll tell you how to do that. I will not do it right now because it is a lot of lengthy process. You need to put that app into review. I'll tell you, quick edit has been disabled for because it is excluded from the column order. Okay, I cannot do that here. So, but anyways, I hope it lets me do it right here. So that is fine, right? So for now, what I'm going to do is basically go and change this to a manual order and check this out here. And if I go into the edit, it should be the first thing that I would like to edit, and that's about it, I guess, in this particular part. And once I hit the save part, this is how the my profile things would look like. And again, we need to also ensure that nobody else is able to see the uh, users part in their application, right? So we want to hide this one thing, but in particular, so what we'll do is, again, if you guys I think you guys know what we do is basically go here and basically put this. What is the formula, guys? If you can tell me before I put it. User email in it is, since it's going to be just for the admin, so admin, and I need to look up to the email. So this is gone and this is in profile. So if I save this, if I could if I click this, it is basically going to make a phone call like this. Okay, so it works directly. Like if you do a mail, it will open a email, whatever is there in your application. For me, it will open a Apple mail, but let me just remove that. It's not used. But again, if I just go a refresh app, I think that should be gone. I hope everyone is understanding till now. So our app is being formed. If I just go and refresh it, this is the admin view, right? Since Prasad at LetsUpgrade.in is an admin. If you see, I can see everything. Now it's problematic for me to use this like this. So I'm just going to, whatever is the users part, I'm just going to move it to menu because we're not going to use it a lot, right? So I'll just move it to menu. Admin has to go into menu. Users has to go into menu. Right? So this is how it will look like. Correct? And for now, what I'll do is registrations will also go into, okay, we will fix that in a while because I need to put one registration before that. Is this much clear? Great. Now see, one thing that we need to fix is, as I mentioned, I would explain what is context. So we have understood how to uh, avoid people from accessing a part of your app. This is a very easy kind of authentication. What I want to show you is how you can do multiple roles, but that would take a lot of time to explain and show you the example. Maybe in some other session, or if you join the student ambassador program that we have, I'll take that session specifically into authenticating and authorizing. in different complex ways. So you can have admin, supervisor, manager level access, executive level access. It is basically going to be multiple roles, like one sheet, and you have multiple roles, and it basically matches that, right? So that's about it here. And then what we can do is, now if you go again, this profile should not be here. I do not want the profile here. So what I will do is I'll move this profile to the menu, and let's see how our app currently looks like. Okay, let's see how our app currently looks like. So this is the events and this is the registrations. All apart from this is available here. But this is for the admin. Okay, this is for the admin and organizers, because in admin and organizers currently I have put my same email. So for the demo purpose, now if I put sales A, that is going to be my user. Sorry, that is going to be my user email ID. If you see, right, a lot of things vanish away, right? It's only just three things: events, registration, and profile. Events, registrations, and profile. Now one problem that is occurring here, right? One problem that is occurring here is, I am also able to add the events. This should not happen. I should not be able to add the events for anything, or I cannot go and delete an event for anything, right? Because I'm a user, I should not be allowed to do that. So in that case, what we will do is, since we had like a my profile thing, we are going to create a slice. Create a new slice, and events underscore user. So this is basically for the events, and it's basically nothing. There is going to be no filter. uh, Everything is going to be same, just that it is going to be a read only. Users cannot change things here. This is one way to do this, right? There is another way to do this part. Is basically, if you go here, again, that is something I'll leave up to you. You can go here and basically go and change this table settings, and there is security. Not in security, there was something here where you can change it. I guess security or some place, I'll figure it out. But for now we'll do it like this. And now, instead of this, since I am going to, this view is basically for the user. Now see, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to match the view and the thing, right? This is going to be events underscore user, because this is going to basically be for the people who will see this, right? And this is going to be a events underscore user to match the view and the app name, right? Sorry. And now one thing that you observe right here is basically, this is causing a problem. This is not how I would want any user to see. But one thing, if you see, right, there is the action button that is gone, right? Even if I open this, I can just see the things here, right? So now what I would want to do here is basically just go down, and there was one more thing that I said, right? Display. As I initially told you, if you put something there, this would overwrite the name that we assigned above. And if I just hit this save, it will be back to events, right? Now we need to fix this to be visible only to the users, right? Because I don't want organizers seeing two screens, right? Because for organizers, we will create a different screen. So this is the very easy way to keep separate screens. There are more complex ways where you just create one view and then you give it you remove the actions based on the access. But that is again something advanced thing, and I do not want to cover in this particular time frame, right? So one thing that you will do is, just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. One thing that we want to do is, just make sure that user email, since this is going to be for the users, right? We had users, and then this is email, and just we hit save. Now if I basically put Prasad here, right, which is going to be the admin email, the event thing is still visible. Yeah, because there is one user with Prasad as well, right? If I just change this name for now as something extra, I'm just putting some random thing, and now if I go and refresh, it will vanish, right? And now because the app is like this, the default screen is this, because that is why it is showing, but this should not work like this. So what we'll do is basically we are basically going to go here, put this back in a while, not now. I am basically seeing if I can do it in one particular thing itself. See, this is where you can do it. This is where you can do it, right? This is where you can do it. Okay, so now again, you have to write a very complex query where it will check and allow you to do only updates only. It will do switch case 1, case 2. Again, I do not want to dive into this. That is where I did not do it that way. But if you opt for this, it can basically handle it in one thing. If we get a time going ahead, what we will do is, okay, let me, meanwhile, if you guys have time, right, do one thing, just put this into chat gpt and get an answer of how we can make it use where we want to query an email with a organizers list or a user list, right? Or I'll only do it, it's okay to do a chat gpt, okay? There is nothing to be like scared of. I don't want to, put time into googling and finding it out. If I want to say, I want to show you how to manage it under one thing. We can of course go and create multiple stuff, but that is uh, not the right way, as I mentioned, right? So again, I am going to put it into chat gpt. User email matching to any value in email column of user table should have read only access. Again, you should know how to prompt chat gpt to make things work. Second thing that I would want to do is user email matching to every user column uh, column of organizer and admin table should have all changes access. Let's see what it gives. We are waiting for this. And now we are going to give this particular thing. I hope this. Let's see how if this works out. Yes. Again, we'll have to do a few changes. Okay, it will not work. We need to see the database that we are mentioning at users, organizers, right? Organizers. It will just help you find the right thing. But again, we have to be correct. If it's in user, it has to be read only, or this has to be all changes. And I'm currently not making any changes to this, so I'm just keeping it like that for now. Okay, basically it gave us the right thing, I guess. I just made it more complex, I believe. This was the thing, I guess, what we needed. So I'm just going to put that back. This is email, organizers, users, and email. I hope if any of the statement is true, is one of the organizers, one of the admin, all changes, or if it is one of the user, that is read only. Let's do that. And then I'm just not removing it right now because I want to see if it works. Okay. Uh, Again, then we can totally remove this part, because since we are working with only one view, let's see if it works actually. Okay, now this is the admin thing, so I have everything, all access. I have all the access. And if I move to sales A, that is my user email, let's see if it goes into a read only. Yes, I think then we don't need all of these things. So I'll just we just need to save this. I hope what we did was clear. If you have not understood, let me know. I'll do it again. I so that we no longer require this slice. Are you guys clear of what we did? Let me know quickly in the chat. We just basically went to chat GPT and asked permissions of how to set it read only, because here, right, updates allowed, and we basically configured this in a way that only the people who are having their emails in the organizers have the all changes access or the admin access. But again, there is one flaw here, right? There is one flaw that every organizer can change all of the events. Every organizer can change all of the events. But again, I don't think that would create a problem. But let's see, because if you're an organizer, you are going to only see your events, right? Again, yeah, there would be a problem. But again, I'll leave it to you how you can fix it, that every organizer can basically go and change every event. But that's fine right now. We are not going to get into that. uh, Now one thing, like we are now into the, let me go to the admin access. Now we'll start. Now the next thing that you want to do is basically how to register for the event, right? Let me just go and remove this extra thing that we added yesterday in registrations. In the events vacant seats, we don't need this. And since yeah, now what I was saying yesterday, right? Now see, what I did was I basically deleted one column. And if I just go and refresh this app, wow, I guess AppSheet has got become smarter the time I last used it. So it is automatically checking the columns, but it is still there. But I'm just going to regenerate the schema to ensure that we have the updated columns that we want. Yes, Peter, that is one way, but you will have to again manage it with their organizer ID, which is here, right? Every event will have an organizer ID that we had. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there is one organizer ID right here. So it has to match with your organizer ID. So that is something how you can look it up. Or by default, organizers also get access to edit access only for a few events that they have. right? So yeah, so now we will focus on the registrations. Now we're going to focus on the registrations. I hope this is clear. This much is clear, guys. Okay, my chat is fixed on top chat and I'm not able to see all of the chat. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now what we need to do is we don't need all of this city, state, India in the view. We don't need to show this because we are basically working with this. This is only while we are filling the form that we need, right? We don't need all of this to be shown right here. And if you see, right, this button that is here, right, going to the next event, we can also disable that. So we'll just go here and start working on one thing. Now we don't have a slideshow, that is gone again. And basically the things that we don't want to show, again, we will not delete it from the data, because if you delete that from data, if you make it hidden from data, when you're filling the form, it would not come up, right? So we want to ensure that that is always there here, but we will put the restriction on the view part. So what we can do is we can set the column order. And we don't want a city, state, country to be shown. We just want the venue to be shown, right? We want the description to come on top after the event name, right? Of course, we would need the venue ID. Do we need the venue ID? Let me know in the chat. Or can we also make it like disappear? Mhm. So event ID is also not required. Organizer ID is also not required. Start date, end date, power. This should be fine. This should be fine. Event type is fest. Let's try to see what happens if I save this. And if I go and edit, I basically get all the things back, right? Whatever I want to change. Okay. I can go in the events form and change the column order again. This is again, I'm doing all of this to make sure that it looks better in the form. But of course, you can see there are a few things. Again, organizer ID has to automatically come here. So cover pick, organizer ID. Mhm. For now, I'm going to keep it like this. Main thing is the registration that I want to show. So we will go back to this part here. And this is something that looks bad, right? We don't want this again coming here because we already have it out here. We don't want this coming here. So we want this to be gone from this part, right? We want this to be gone from this part. So what we can do here is basically is, so understand something, there is something called as context. Context basically means the view where you're basically showing that particular thing. So now what are the different type of context? Now there are different contexts that are available. There is view type and everything. If you want to, if I'll just go to the docs, context app sheet to make you understand it better. This is basic context is basically the running where basically it runs and what all features are available. And there is going to be options available here. So there are two parts option, right? This is how it looks. You can basically give the value here, options, and what all options are available is app name, device, host, owner email, table, view or view type, right? So what we want to deal with is view type right now. Again, you cannot give, like, you cannot directly give view type. You have to give the value that has to match, right? And what all view types available that we have in AppSheet is basically, if you go here, right, and if you go in views, these are all the view types that are available. Check, this is the view type. If you see, right, this is the context, and these are all the view types: calendar, deck, table, gallery, detail, uh, card, onboarding form, chart, dashboard. These are all the view types that are available in AppSheet, right? So That is the formula context option, and we can basically go and check, put it equal to expression and check it, right? So going back to the app, what we want to do is now see, this is the gallery view type. This is the gallery view type, and I want this cover pic to be only visible. uh Arvind, I'm coming to that part after this. So right, we are getting into registrations only. So after this, we want this to be only shown where? Here. We don't want it to be shown here. So what I'll do is I'll go into the database right now, right? I'll go to the image, the cover pic that is here, and I'll go into the show part. Now see, this is where we want to set the context. So I'll write context, and the option, it is now, see, it is giving option. If you just put this, there are option, that is view type. You just select this, context view type equal to gallery, right? So view type is equal to gallery, and just hit save, right? That's it. It will only show where the view type is gallery. And if I just save this, so this is the database level restriction that we are creating, that this particular thing, one of the part is restricted. Now if you see, right, it's gone from here. It's basically gone from here, right? I hope this is clear of how to restrict one part of the database in one of the views, right? It will be visible outside, right? So that we are not completely restricting it from the app, but we do not want it to repeat again. This is one way. Of course, you can always go and do that with what we just saw, right? If you just go inside this events and basically cover pick and remove this from here. But again, I'm just showing you the options of how you can do it. Now what we want to do is, as an user, if I am user, right, if I am a user, so say if I am a user, I want to register. Again, registrations, we have to restrict it to admin. So display view, right? So display now all the registrations will be visible to the admin, right? So we will create a my events for your registrations for the events that are of organizers separately later. This is going to be admin email. Okay, and that's it, and this should vanish. And currently now we are just having one thing called as events, right? As a user, I'm just having events. That's it. This is the app for the user. This is just the app for the user. Now once he goes into this, right, this is the plain thing that is visible here. Now one thing that we need to do is create an action, right? We need to create an action. Now what is the action going to be? The action is going to be see, there are actions available which were basically available here, right? So one thing that we need to create is a register now button, right? So what we are going to do is create an action for admin. Okay, not in admin, we want to go to the events table and create action here. So we need to create an action. First of all, we need to set it prominently. I think this is going to create a problem since we restricted that there. Add a new row to another column by using. Okay, now we have this here. Let's see if I remove this, does it work? Still working. Okay. Now, what all tables we need to add is registrations, right? So once a user clicks here, we want to create a registration. See, this is how it will look like, right? Now we want to change it to basically look like a ticket. So we have this again, since we are choosing, this is how it will look like. Yes, I'll come there. I'll come there. How you can show multiple registrations. So this is how the registration icon will come up. I hope this much is clear. I hope you are able to understand what we are doing, right? So again, see, register for which of the records? For the records of the events table. What we are doing is adding a new row to another table. So we have a table called as registration. So we are going to fill this up every time you can say a registration thing is clicked, right? So registration, again, what all things do we need is event id. First of all, we need an event id. So event id is going to be event id, right? Because that is something, since we are going to work with event id. Now one thing that we need to create is registration id, and this has to be unique. So there is one formula for unique, right? So it will basically create a unique id, sorry, not unique, unique id. Clear? So yeah, this is the two things that we are going to do as soon as this happens, right? So let's see what is there in our sheet. We have registration id, we are event id. Is this clear? Is this clear till now here? And let's see how this works out. Let's see how this works out. Okay, we are going to just save this. And I'm just going to go into FIFA and just click on this and see what happens. We see, right, there is a registration id, there is event id coming here. There is a registration id, there is an event id coming here. Clear? Is this clear? Right? I hope this is you understand these things. Now we can basically similarly fill all of this. We can similarly fill all of this, right? Let's do that. For now, I'm going to remove this from here. And go back here. Now, what all things do we need is the user ID has to be user email, right? Because who is going to be filling this thing is going to be is basically the ID. Okay, now we have a problem. Okay, now we have a problem. Right now we have a problem. That is basically that we cannot put this email there, right? Because since we are working with IDs, we cannot basically put an email there. So what we are going to do is, this is the things that we will manage from here. This is the things that we will manage from here. But what you can basically do is, I'll teach you something called as the lookup, right? Now see, user ID is going to be what we need is a ID. We have an email. Okay, come here and I'll show you how it works. See, we have users here, we have the ID here, we have the email here, right? What we're going to do is, when we put something called as, now understand, when we something we what when we do this, right, it will basically give me a result called as this. But I'm not interested in this. What I need is this ID, which is basically my ID is this. So what I'm interested in this. So how do we get this? So what we need to do is, we need to take this value, which this formula is going to return to us. Then I need to come to the table which has this value, right? I have to give the query that, boss, take this email that you have got as an input, come to the users table, search the email column, and whichever row you find that matching, go to the users ID column and get me that particular value. I hope this is clear what I just said. Take my email, go to the users table, go to the emails column, and find this value, right? So I'm just going to write this thing, take my user email. Yes, that's a lookup. I'm just showing, I'm just explaining for the people who won't be able to understand. So this is how it will work. Take my user email, go to the users table, go to the emails column, and get me the user ID, right? So just understand what I've written. User emails, users, email, user ID. How to read it is, take your user email, go to the users table, find the value in the email column and match it up with the user ID and return me the ID, right? And this is all everything that you will include in a lookup formula that is there in the app sheet, right? I hope what I explained is just clear. Now let's try to do that here, right? For column user ID, what we are going to do is we are going to use something called as lookup. You can find that formula down as well. So once you do this, right, check what it is saying. Lookup value is going to be a user email. Data set is going to be the user table, right? The table that you are checking. Column is going to be the email, and return column is going to be the user ID, right? I hope whatever I explained is clear. So this is going to be user email. Second is where I want that to check. So I'm going to give, again, I need to put a string. So this is going to be users. Then which column to select is basically the email. And what to return is basically going to be user ID. Is this clear, guys? Did you understand what we just did? Everyone in the chat, can I have a thumbs up? Something to ensure that you guys understood this part. Right, so let's do this. And yes, we have our user ID as well, right? Okay, similarly, what all things do we need then? Now we need let's go back. Now this is the main part of the whole app that we are building, right? Which you guys, you're waiting for. Status. Now we had three type of statuses, right? We had three type of status. That was basically, uh if you go in a Notion app, right, we documented it in the project part. Oh boy, we go into the project part and then we go down here and organizer registration. We had waitlist, approved and not approved. So by default we want this to be the value. So we go down in our app again and add one more thing, that status should be waitlist, right? Status should be waitlist by default. And next thing that we want to do is registered at. Registered at is basically going to be now function that basically gives you the current time that is available. So time now function is what we will have, and this is how it will look like. So every time you click that register button, a new registration is going to be created. Now this is again a problem, right? The register button should be only visible to you if you have clicked it once. It should not be visible again and again, because then it's a problematic thing, right? The register button cannot be visible again and again. It should be only visible if you have it, basically, if basically if you have registered, then only you cannot register again for that event. Only one entry has to come from you, right? So what you can do is here, so see, what you can do is you can basically put a confirmation message, confirm registration. Let's see how this looks like. See, confirm registration. So you can do that. And what you can do also is basically take this and confirm your registration for You can put an event name there. Again, this will not work like this, right? So you have to put a concatenate thing there. So I'm just creating a formula for that. Okay, you just take all of that and concatenate and just see how this works. Right, and that's how you can register. Is this clear? Right, I hope this is clear. Now again, let's see if this works. I'm going to register, and once my registration is gone, the data is here. When we have a problem right here, we have a problem right here. This is not how we wanted our data to be. Right, let's fix this and see what this mistake that we did. uh I guess that is something to do with time now. The time column, if we do just now, let's see how it works. We have a confirmation in between. Okay, now is something that we need, but we need to still format it. Or what else? See, one thing that we can do is, instead of this putting here, what we can figure it out to work is, we basically asked it to work as a change timestamp, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay, no, okay, yeah, I saw the problem. We have registered at we need it as time. This is something we need it as time. Yeah, we did not fix the databases. I remember we did not fix the data tables, right? And that is something we did wrong. Status is going to be an enum, as I mentioned, right? This is going to be an enum, and it is going to have three values: waitlist, approved, and not approved, right? So this is going to be button should be fine, and I guess that's about it here. And we can basically set initial value here as well, right? But we do not, we are, since we are setting it with this thing here, we need not do it there. But yeah, and then approved at is going to be a change timestamp. This is going to be a change timestamp. Now what is change timestamp is basically it will automatically update what we want it to happen, right? So basically based change timestamp basically means it will automatically update the time based on something, some other field changing. So registered at has to work on some dependency, right? So we will add that dependency here. So as soon as the status goes to waitlist, as soon as the status goes to waitlist, you update that thing, right? As soon as the status goes to waitlist, you update that thing. Okay, right, I hope this is clear. And let's check if this works now, right? We will check. That is the only time that will take time. We will do multiple checks for everything that has to work, and you will go and register and check how it looks like now. I think there was a dependency that I overlooked, maybe. Nope. Mhm. Okay, this is creating a problem. So what I can do instead of this is basically just try to format the date. Maybe let's try that. It should not happen this way anyways, but okay, no issues. Then I will remove the dependency. Again, it has to work like this. Anyways, keep that, and I'll set the initial value to waitlist as well. Okay, I set the initial value of the status as waitlist. Let's see if this works. If not, then I'll format the date directly in the action itself. Mm, let's try with some other event for that matter. Okay, nope, this does not work. Let's remove this from here and check. Okay, so what we can do is now go to the database and do the things that we did. Come to actions, add the status to waitlist, and add the time. We need the date time, so format there. So let's go in action. The column of data action register is not valid, so register that, and we can do let's see what do we get on this. Yeah, we have this, right? Working completely fine. Right, we have fixed this as of now, and okay, so just fix this in this way. So clear, this much is clear. So once now that we have is once that one thing that we have fixed is clear. Yep. Okay, so now what we need to do here is basically again, I leave it to you to how to hide it. If you know, if already there is basically, you know, if there is already an event exist, even a registration existing with this user ID for this particular event, you have to hide this button, right? So you can basically do it here. I'll show you how, but again, uh, this is the thing which you need to put here. Once you put that for a condition here, the button should be gone, because a user should not re-enter register again and again for one particular event. So right, and that is something that you need to do. So I can give the formula later. I'll update the formula here, right? So let me just put that formulas in this thing. I'll put this after this session, maybe formulas, uh, helpful formulas, hide register after one entry. So I'll put the formula right here below this so that it becomes easy for you to access, right? But I want you guys to go and put that formula there. First, you have to try it, but I'll update it later after this session. Once I'm done with this, I'll go and update it there. So that is something you need to hide. I'll tell you what all things you will require. You will require a lookup. You will require setting context, and you are going to use some formulas like in, and not. So you're going to mix a few formulas and put it to work in this way, right? So as soon as now, see, one thing that we saw is now we have this registrations coming in, right? We have a registration, and now you can see it is getting the registration ID, event ID, and user ID, right? Now we need to send an email to the user. We need to send an email to the user that thank you for registering this, that, all of that stuff, right? So what you're basically going to do is set up automation, right? You're going to set up automation. So whew, just a minute. Right, you're going to basically set up an automation. Now how this automation will work is, now we come into the automating field that you need to send an email that thank you for registration, and it will basically have the details of the event, nothing else, right? So uh, we'll go to the next field to just show you, right? Now this is going to be an automation, create bot. The bot name would be new registration, right? New registration. And if you need access to this app, right, what I'm creating, you can just mail, not mail, I'll create a form real quick. Okay, so I can give you access, because this is going to be a very restricted, I'm not going to give it in open. So whoever is watching, only those people will get this. So all of the all what all things do we need in this thing is but again, have I shared this with everyone? Okay, yeah, I'll create a clone and give you the access. I'll not give the exact because I don't want your emails to go to everyone. So I'll create a clone of this app and give you that access. So basically you will just be able to access the app, right? So what all things do I need? As from users, I just need the name and email, that's it. Other things you can fill. So I just need your name and email, so that's it. So I'm going to just ask for that things, name and email, right? And responses, just one response, send, copy, go into live. I've just spammed the chat with the form link. You can just copy it and keep it somewhere and help others who want it. So I'll start giving the access tomorrow evening onwards. So meanwhile, you can just watch the recordings and try to build this, right? So if you fill this, you will get the access to the app that I am building. Yeah, so configuring the event. So what is the event that we want to happen? First of all, we want to check that whether a new registration is happening, right? So we will just rename this to that, a new event, uh, new registration added, right? New registration added. Now event type is what? A data change, right? A data change, right? So our data has changed in that app, right? So now what you will do is, now which table the changes are happening? In the registrations table. So that is when we select registrations, uh, add changes happening, right? Because we don't want it to run on everything that happens, right? We don't want it to run on other every update or delete. We just want it to run on the add part, right? And the condition, now we have to check, right? When should this run? When should this run? So the condition, what would be the condition? What should be the condition? So the condition that you will have, right? See, first of all, if you go in the app, you go in registration, first this is blank, right? And then it becomes waitlist. First this is blank and then it becomes waitlist. So the condition that is checked, or else what you can do is you can just fire it like that. uh, Again, I'll keep that as an extra formula to check, uh, check if value of status of registrations was first blank, sorry, first not waitlist, but then change to waitlist, change to waitlist. Okay, this is something that you will that is again I'll give you. Currently we'll just fire it on every ad that comes into registrations, right? Bypass security filters and everything we don't require. Now who do we need to send this is something that is important. So I'll just save this. You can execute event and bot it triggers. There's no security filters on the data sources. No, can save this. Right now, one thing that we do is again, there's an error. It does not have a process, so we'll add a process. Now, what is the process? Uh, we will add the process called as send registration email. Send registration email. What is the task? Custom task is basically a send email. Custom task is basically send email. Now, who's this email going to go to? So we have a custom template that we are going to write for this whole thing. Now again, we are going to use a lookup, because if you know, right, we don't have access to the email ID. We do not have access. What we have access to there is the user ID. Now again, you have to take this user, go back to the users table, find it in this email and find it in the email and get that email back. Sorry, get the user ID, come to the table, find it in the user ID and get the email. Just the reverse of what we did previously. So the two would now be like something like lookup. Again, what do we have is a user ID. So if I just go in Data Explorer, I have user ID. Right, we have user ID, and then what you're going to do is comma, and which table it is going to be users, and then comma, which column this is going to be, the email column. No, this is going to be user ID column, and then we want in the return something called as email. Right now, see one thing that you saw the problem, right? It says that we cannot compare the text with a list. If you do this, if I just give user ID, let's check what is happening. You can actually test your formulas. It gives sales a, sales a. I guess believe because that is the only email there. Currently I'm just saving this and save this. I'm going to disable this bot as of now because I need to put a few registrations there. Okay, so what we will do is we'll quickly go back to the views and go back to Prasad. See, now I'm getting two options. I'm just going to register here also. The decision should come here like this. Okay, I don't have a user with that name. Oh, that is why it gave an error. So just go, let's go and remove and check if this is working again. register for the thing. We go back, we refresh the app. Just go and register. Yes, it's working, right? So now if you go into the automation that we just created, send registration email, and just look up to this formula and check this test. If you see the problem, right, the user ID is different, but it is always going to the first email that we have, right? It is always going to the first email that is it's having, right? Because it's checking the first email that is available. So what we want to do is we want to check this for every row, right? We want to check this for every row. So there is one formula that is there called as this row, right? We just put underscore, and if you say this row is there, now if you do this and just give a dot in between, and see, you see the changes. Now this works for every row separately. Now this works for every row separately, right? As we want it to work, and this is how we want it to work. So we'll just hit a save. Now the thing that will work is I have to, now you see, you can basically define the subject. By default, this is the registration. You can put variables and all of this stuff, right? The email and everything, and you can basically use one of this also. So so what you can do is event name, do we have? So what I can do is hi. Acha, we do not have access to that event name, so we cannot basically use that here because there is no variable for the event name. But okay, what we can do is your registration is successful and you are on waitlist, right? So this is how the email would look like if you want to see, right? Your okay, did I not save this? Wow. So I can just preview the mail, and this is how it would look like. But again, this is bad, right? This is not looking so good. So what you can do is you can go into advanced. You can basically go and change the to attachment, right? Create that. So it will basically create a doc that will go instead of that format. You can view that documentation here, and basically then it lets you format all of this, right? Now I'm keeping it very simple. Okay, so this is how our things are going to look like, and you can of course mark CC and all of that stuff here right away. Similarly, you can directly send a notification to the app, right? So this is what I have set up right now, and you can also send a notification to, again, you have to see the user email and everything for the organizer, so that their email, their mobile gets a notification and all of that stuff. I'll again leave that to you. Now I'll hit enable. Right now we are going to go back to the app. Where do we have the app? This is table. the table. This is gone. This is not required. Yes. And we'll save this. Okay. So now when I go to the app right here, and when I click register, I should be basically getting a mail. So let me check if my email hits. Yeah. If you see, right, this is the email that I received. Oh, I messed up. I put it in the attachment, but just to show you again. Where is that app? Oh, wow. I basically put it in some another file. So I'm just going to copy this, remove that. Mm, let me just quickly copy this. We're running short of time. That is what I'm seeing. So go to view. I'm going to basically replace all of this here. Goes to this. This becomes this, and right, we don't need all of this, and that's it. That's it, and that's about it. And we just save. Now, if we go into the view and register for any event, as so again, you can do a lookup and get all the details of the event in the mail as well, right? So if I go here back, I should basically have another email right here, which shows like this, right? Your session is successful below registration detail. That is how the email look like, right? It comes to me, it comes from AppSheet, it looks like a proper email. Now, one thing that we wanted to do is, if what happens from the registration part. So very quickly, we'll just complete 3-4 things and then we'll close this session. I'll show you how to generate a QR code real quick and put that in the attachment, right? And probably we'll see how to take things forward. Tomorrow there will be no session, right? So we will just wrap it into 2 days because almost done with the app. Maybe just 20 minutes or so and we'll be done with the app. Okay, so there will be no session tomorrow. You will be getting a notification also for the same. Now, real quick, let's go to the view because we are back to the views. Now we're in admin. So this is how all registrations are showing, right? This is how all registrations are showing. But if I open this again, this is a problem. So what we'll do is I want to go and put it in the quick edit column. What I want to edit quickly would be the status. That this is how I would want to edit the status. Right? I hope this is clear. Why are you sad, Abhilash? Why are you sad? I don't know why are you sad. Why are you guys sad? I don't know why you guys are sad. There is nothing left as such. That is why I'm not taking it. See, in the registrations column, right? Just let me just. Mm, see what one thing you can do is if you do want to have a name, one thing that I can do for you is you just have to go and create a virtual column called as event name. So your mail becomes quite customized. Now again, we'll do a look. It's very simple. Now you guys know the trick. We will do lookup. Again, we want that for the particular event, right? For the row. So this, I'm going to quickly move forward now. This row dot, what would come here? What would come here, guys? Is the event ID. I believe that was the Explorer. If I go in Explorer, events, event ID. This row dot event ID. And then I want to go and search it in the events. And then I want to search the column called as the event ID that matches. And then I would want to get the event name. And that would basically get me the event name, right? That is basically going to get me the event name. If you see, right, I have the event name here. So I can just go here. Now I'm quickly moving things here and there. So event name goes on the top, registration ID and everything goes again on the top. We have this status here. Event ID again goes below this because we do not require that right now. That is how it looks like. Yes, the processing bar bit complete. Do not worry about that. We'll make the changes in the backend also. Do not worry about that. So now we have got the event name, right? So now what we can do is basically again go to the actions. Sorry, go to the automation. Go to the registration added. Send registration email. Now if you see this, right, you must be having an access to event name. Let's try to do that. I do not know if this will work. I'm just trying it out. If it works, it works. If it does not, it does not. Okay. See, we have got the event name here. So we have successfully got the event name here. That is how you create virtual columns. I hope that is clear. Right? I hope that is clear how you create virtual columns. Okay, so now one thing that we need to do is set up approval processes, right? Set up approval processes. Now, how does that work out? How does that work out? So again, for that we are going to set up a few actions. So let me just go to the registrations. Yeah, let me just go to real quick to the registrations part. And this is not approved right now. So once you click on approve, right, and it changes there. So if you go and see here, it changes to approved. And if you see, right, this is automatically updated. The approved that automatically comes in, right? The approved that automatically comes in, right? So now we want to we want to basically put a QR here. Basically, we want to create a QR code, right? Basically, we want to create a QR code that will be in your app. So how can we do that? How can we do that? So first of all, for that, we'll need a column, right? We'll need a column for that to create a QR code. And that column has to be kind of, virtual again, because we cannot have it by default there. So let's fix this. Now we are going to create quickly another automation that works on approved registrations. Rename. So this is the last part of the program that we are doing. Again, if you'd love to learn more, we can come back again. You can say in some of another sessions, right? We go back to registrations. Now, as I mentioned, I'll give you the formula, but we have to just put basically the status is going to be Data Explorer registration status equals to approved. Save this bypass security filter just to save, just a save check. And now what do we want to send? What do we want to send is basically, but before sending, right, we need to do few more steps. We need to have a confirmation ID, and if you go into the node side, we decided that confirmation ID would be something like registration ID plus events ID plus user ID, right? So let's do that. So now we will run a data action, right? We will data action. So custom step, this is not a thing. Run a data action, custom action, right? We're going to set row values. Again, in row values you have confirmation ID, and confirmation ID is basically going to be a mix of what all things, guys? If you can tell me, I'll just quickly also write here concatenate. We are going to have a mix of registration ID, right? And we are going to put a dash in between, and then we are going to have something called as an event ID, right? Correct, event ID. And then we are going to have something called as dash, and then we are going to have something called as user ID. But again, please beware that this is not how it will work, right? Because this, when you do this, right, when you do this, it gets you the whole column. We don't want the whole column, you will get this error, right? We don't want the whole column, we just want the value. So just want the value. This is how it should look like, and that should be fine, right? If you just test it, it will go, it will, you will be able to see, right, how it looks. This is basically the confirmation ID for your ticket. It's the confirmation ID for your ticket. You just go back, hit save. Now that's it. Now for every action, right, keep a habit to check of how your app loads or looks like. So what I'll just do it, I'll just duplicate it so I don't have to, run here and there. So here we can actually go and I can just check if this is working. So I'll go into registrations. Again, this looks cluttered. So what I can do is basically go to registrations and group by. What I can group by is the event name, right? Again, event name, and then I can do a further grouping by the status, right? So again, you can go here and see the wait list or something. But again, I can, for now, since I'm just working with the thing, so I'm keeping it wait list and that. So you can of course do it as a event also. Let's do this as event only, event name. And if you want to basically edit that as well, so what I can do is summary can be the status. So you have this approved or anything there, and then you have primary ID as, okay, that is something that you can basically fix it later. So for now I'm not changing that. And then once we do this, go to registrations, change something else to approved. Let's see what happens in the sheet. See, right, there is the confirmation ID is automatically loaded. Confirmation ID is automatically loaded, right? So is this clear? Is this clear, guys? The confirmation ID is automatically loaded. So we have done one part of this thing. We've just done one part of this thing, right? So we have got the confirmation ID with us. Now we need to create the QR code, right? Now we need to create the QR code for that. So for this, we are using something called as I guess I found a library. There's a library called as quick charts. You go to doc, you go to QR code. Again, I'll leave the link there in the document as always. So I'll just put it right below here. Okay, and yeah, I had it. So we go here. Now this is how the text should look like. This is how the text should look like. Right, this is how the text should look like. So what we'll do is, mm, we'll set another action to see. Let's see if this works, but again we need to have a virtual column for that. Okay, that is going to be a problem now. Mm. You go in the registration, we go in the virtual column, we add one column at QR code, and the formula should be something like again, this has to be, it cannot be just this, so we need to add something here, right? So it has to be something like concatenate, and we are going to basically add this value, this string, and basically the confirmation ID besides that, right? Like this, right? So this is how it will look like. So if it's available, it should look like this. So if I actually go and open this somewhere, I should get a QR code. I hope this is clear, right? So let's save this for now, and the type has to be image. Again, we are basically going to set all the QR codes to go into one single folder, right? So again, the folders that we have are images, then images, inside images we will do registrations, and then we will do QR. This is where all of this are going to sit. Is this clear? Right, let's hit save and let's do this and see how it looks. Just a minute. And now basically if you go in the registration part, right, you should be able to see, just a minute, there's some issue here. Yeah, if I go here, right, if you see there is a QR code here once it's approved, right? There is a QR code here once it's approved. So what you can do here is basically you can basically go here and show this. You can basically show this is not blank. Show only if is not blank. Is there, if there is confirmation ID, then only. So we go into the registrations and we set up the confirmation ID. There are multiple ways to do this. Currently I'm keeping it like this, so it might look messy right now. But again, we can actually go and fix this. There has to be no image right now, so that it looks like that. And then once you get inside, you find the QR code here. So I'll go here and add the QR code. right? The QR code comes on the top. If it is there, right? If it is there, it comes on the top. Then let's go to registrations and try doing one more part. Uh, there is no QR code available here. Yes, the QR code since we created is available here. I hope this is clear. Right now, again, for the organizers, right? This is again admin part. For the organizers, you can also create an approved users thing only, right? So how to do it is basically I'll just create it very quickly. But yeah, you can create it. You basically need to go here in registrations and create one slice that says basically like uh the status is approved. Just change this to approved, and then you can create that slice, and basically it will just only the users which are approved. Right now, this is one thing I'm leaving it to you as a homework. I'm just leaving it for you guys now. Now, one thing that we need to do is we are done with the QR code also, right? Where we have the QR code with us now. Then we need to go to the email again, and this is the last part of the program where we go and set up the email again, right? So what we are going to do is we have done confirmation ID, and now we are going to set the email. And approved registration, right? And then we're going to put a step that says that boss go and send the email. Let me just copy the formula again so that I don't have to put it again. The step is basically going to be send email, and we can go into advanced custom template to again we are going to put this formula that we copy pasted. And again, we can change the subject and everything. I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay, I hope you guys are able to understand this. Just let me know if you are able to understand what I'm actually doing. Anything, anything that you can put. And then basically you can ignore all of this will not go if you are sending this part. You can put CC BCC reply to customize from name. Our name was show spot, we will put show spot here. You can pre-header, you can put a template. I'm going to quickly create this template and show you how it will look like. This is how it will going to look like, and let's see the preview as well once we save this. Okay, in this email that we have, now you can write anything. You can put your variables. please find your pass details in the attachment below and carry it for the check-in. Right, that's it. That is going to be your email. It's because I'm trying to keep this short. You go back here, go into the attachment PDF attachment template. You can have it named as confirmation ID, I guess. Confirmation ID. Again, you can set the folder part here again if you want to, but currently I'm leaving it as it is. And then we create a thing here. So you can basically do anything that you want. You can put your images. You can put, if you manage to get your, when you, yeah, the thumbnail of your uh, event here, you can put that as well. And then basically we would want to keep everything in a 1 2 3. So 1 2. Okay, let's put a table right here. Right, this is how you have your passes, right? So we can basically put it like this. Just put the things that you need. You do not need to put all of the things there. Right, you don't need to put all of the things there. And again, if you want to put all of the things, you can put all of the things there. It's totally up to you. This is what I'm planning it to be like, and let's save and let's see how it works. Okay, now this is the test. Okay, wow, what problem did it have? What field do I have it? Okay, so we do not want to keep messing with this, so I'm just leaving your pass there and hit save, because we do not, it can be anything. Yeah, so this is it, and we start with the app most probably. Now let's go and check this. First of all, I'm going to remove all of these flows. Right, check in something that you need to do. I'll tell you how to do it real quick. You will, what you'll do is, the homework here is, you will go and set up one volunteer thing. Right, you will create a table for volunteers. Right, that we did. You will create a table for volunteers. You'll put the volunteers name, give them the access of the event, and which will filter the events, the registrations for that particular event in the table. And then how to give that scanner access, that is very easy. I'll tell you, that is the reason I was not showing it till the end. You can just enable this and it will become scannable. The QR code system will come here. Okay, if you just, if I am doing registrations, right, if I'm in registrations and I go in registration, there's search bar, right? If I see there's a search bar, but as soon as I put this in the what do I want to search is a confirmation ID, right? So if I go into confirmation ID and just put this here, scannable, so it becomes scannable. So I can basically go and scan the table. That's it. That is the thing, that how you can scan, and you need a mobile to do that. Right, now let's go quickly into this. Since we have no registration, first of all, let's do it as a user. No, let's do it that this we'll go for uh, the tech fest. We'll register for it. So once we are registered, we should get an email that says you are registered for the event. Yes, we do have an email. Your registration is successful and you are on wait list. Correct. This is how it will look like. Again, you can pre-format this in a little bit good manner. Now, once if I'm an admin, I get this registration, right? I guess this registration. Need to refresh this. And you get this registration. What I need to do is need to go here again. See, there is no QR code because QR code does not exist. Once I approve and hit save, once it saves, right, I just need to go back and the automation will work behind the scenes. If I go inside again, strange, we have the confirmation ID. Let's go and check the email that we have received. No, not received email yet. That is strange. Hmm. Okay, let me do this again. I believe that was some error. So if I register, I have, let me just close the both the versions. There's some issue with that. Yeah, I have a registration and I get a registration email. Now again, if I go here and in my registrations, I go and approve my registrations. Yeah, the QR comes here, right? The QR is visible now automatically, and then we go back to the email to see our. I hope the QR is there in the PDF. Yes, we have the QR, and that's it, guys. You have the app done. Now again, see, you can basically try scanning this app. Try scanning this QR, and it should match the confirmation ID. Let me also do along with you. And that basically ends the session. Again, I am taking few questions for 5-10 minutes if you want. Yeah, I'll show you that. So if you scan, right, you will get this text behind, which is behind this part. How to host? There is an option here somewhere. Let me just also figure out. There is some thing here. Where did it go? Now see, this is how complex the app has become. Okay, sorry, my bad. It's here in publish, in manage. Somewhere here. See, if you go in deploy, right, in branded apps, you can brand it, and you need a license. You can publish it here in from here. Again, as a user, if you see again as a user, what are you seeing is basically this. Let me just show you. I did not show you. This is what you get to see, and this is your profile, right? And one thing that I did not show you is see, you do this, you register, right? That's it. That's what a user does. You can also create my registrations, right? You can create my registrations, and that is again your homework. Now if I go back to Prasad and I confirm that registration that is here on waitlist from this particular user, and that will again send the email to that user. right? So now one thing, I guess we have done all of this, but there's one thing I wanted to show you is if I am sales A, if registrations, this is going to be, so one thing I one thing I'll show you is how to get your registrations below your email, right, in your profile. I wanted to show you that. Or can you do that by yourself? Can you do that by yourself? Can you do that by yourself? Okay, instead of that, what I will do is delete this, and I'll just go to the registrations thing. Sorry, I'll go to my profile thing. What I can do is can go to the users, and I create a new virtual column called as related registrations. Now the app formula would be basically a ref rows, right? I need to reference the rows, right? Of which column I need to reference the course from registration column, and what basis do I need to register is basically the user ID. That's it. The foreign key system that I wanted to show you, right? And if I just do this and save this, let's see what happens. If I go into my profile, and add this, now below this you will be able to see all your registrations. See, right? I hope this is clear now. Now you can see all your registrations and the status, and you can delete. If you are a user, you will not be able to do that. But again, there is a problem here, right? You can basically, this is something, a security check that you will have to put in, right? That not everyone can basically go and change the registration, but this simply like the way we did it, right? With the events part, you have to make that changes in the security here, and again, I'm leaving it that to you. Okay, so that's about it, guys. This is the app that we build, and yeah, if you learn more, you can please join us in the student ambassador program. It's starting tomorrow. I'll take a few sessions here where we will build more cooler apps. I have a few in mind. Proper inventory system with notifications going here and there. Scanner, the scanning system I'll show you very nicely. We'll plan it somewhere towards in the month of June itself. So if you are new to this thing, yeah, there's a link to student ambassador program in the chat. Please go and join that. So we have ample time there, so I can do that. Right. So with that, I'll be signing off for the day. Thank you so much for the 2 day, guys, and thank you for being there. I hope you enjoyed the sessions. If you loved what we do and you like to help us reach more students, please share this with your friends. And then second thing that I would require is please post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and any social media, any WhatsApp, Telegram groups that you have. It only helps us grow more and reach to more students like you. Help us maybe have 1,000 people watching us at time. That's the only thing I ask in return from you guys. We'll be back with more cooler sessions, more cooler technologies. Right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Have a great day. Bye bye.